Hey guys, Tony here with Finally Explained. In this video, I'm going to explain how my wife and I house hacked. That is, how to buy and live in a home and how to cut down on your living expenses so that you can live for free. I believe this is one of the best investments you can make when you're just getting started in life. In this video, I am going to show you exactly how my wife and I found our duplex home and bought it for around $0 down. A duplex is a home that is built with two renters in mind. Half of the house can be occupied by one person or family, and half of the house can be rented by the other. Some homeowners or investors take an older rental house and chop it up into two pieces, and then reclassify it as a duplex to try to make more money from their investment. I do not like these houses. I also don't like top and bottom duplexes. Why don't I like these houses? Well, a few reasons. The first reason that most people don't think about is noise. You can never be quiet enough if you're the top renter. If you share a common wall, that can get pretty annoying too. This is why we chose a duplex where the garage walls were shared. The second reason is that these chopped up houses weren't built as separate units. There really need to be separate utility meters for gas, electric, and water. If the duplex is big enough, it also makes sense to have two hot water heaters and two HVAC systems. The third reason why you might want to respectfully refuse to buy a single-family home turned duplex is that the landlords who own these typically do all of the work themselves. A duplex, all the way up to a fourplex or a quadplex, is considered a personal residence by most banks and loan companies. This means you get a better interest rate. This also means that you can use an FHA loan to finance the house. I would recommend Home Possible through Sallie Mae or a 5% down loan from a local bank if you can qualify. If you are eligible for a VA loan, you could even put $0 down. My wife and I started the duplex buying process by going to a mortgage broker and applying for a loan. Once we got pre-approved, we had around 90 days to find a house we wanted to buy. Now, most people at this point would get on Trulia, Zillow, or Realtor.com and search for multifamily real estate. But I decided to try to find a house that wasn't for sale yet. I wanted to find a seller who had been thinking about selling but didn't have his home on the market. Houses on the multiple listing service and sites like Zillow get saturated with competition. Usually, the price of the house is based on the true retail value that the house would likely appraise for. The price is also set knowing that the seller will likely have to pay two realtors. To find an off-market deal, I went to listsource.com and built a list selecting the criteria for the house that I wanted, and then added some junk criteria to make sure that the total cost of the list came out to at least $50, since ListSource has a minimum cost per list of $50. ListSource gave me a list of around 300 duplexes in my area. I went through the list and crossed out houses that were not true side-by-side duplexes. Once I had a list of 130 houses we definitely would want to live in, I got some mailing supplies around. I went and got a box of self-sealing envelopes, heavyweight legal paper, and some black toner. I wrote out what I wanted to say on a white sheet of paper, making sure to trace it over the yellow paper. Dear blank, my wife and I are convinced that buying a duplex home is the best way to start our life together. It just makes sense to live in one side and rent out the other. I would be very interested in buying your home at blank. If you have any interest in selling at all, please give me a call at 123-456-7890. This is my actual number, by the way. Thank you for your time and consideration. Sincerely, Tony Moore. P.S. We are pre-approved already and are serious about buying. I put the white sheet of paper in the printer, and after some positioning, I fed the yellow sheets through, making 130 yellow letters. I then went through by hand and wrote all of the names and addresses onto the letters. Now, admittedly, this was a lot of work. If you don't want to write these out yourself, there's a site called yellowletters.com where you can automate this process for about $1 per letter. I also got some discount photos of my wife and I and included a family picture in the letter. Of the 130 letters I sent out, I got about 10 phone calls. 5 people wanted too much for their duplex, 3 people wanted to know where I got their information, but 2 people were actually very interested in selling. We set appointments and went to look at the houses. Just a side note here, most mailing campaigns expect 1 to 2% of people to call, so mine actually did really well. Most mailing campaigns send out about 6 to 7 letters total to the same address, with the greatest return on investment being letters 3 and 4. We brought a purchase contract with us, and I asked one of the owners what price he would need in order to sell the house right now. His asking price was reasonable. I asked him if he would be willing to put $3,000 toward closing costs, since we were low on cash and we weren't using a realtor. And he said, okay. Then we filled out our state's official 8-page purchase agreement with the seller. I took the offer to the title company and the mortgage company, scheduled an inspection on the house, and we worked on everything that needed to be done in order to close. My in-laws gifted us the down payment. Huge thank you to them, by the way. And after about a month, we had ourselves a house. The house had one empty side that we moved into, and we inherited the renter on the other side. The previous landlord said that the renter was a good tenant. She had been with him for over 2 years. Since we inherited her, she has paid on time every month. Her payment reduces our monthly mortgage payment to about $120. So after utilities, we end up paying about $270 to $320 per month to live. Now let me just say that this wasn't the best deal ever. We probably could have paid a little bit less for the property. But the great thing is, we got started. If you are anything like me, you spend a lot of time in analysis paralysis. You've been thinking about it for too long. I hope that if you were waiting on someone to shed some light on this topic, that it has been finally explained. I know that I simplified this process a lot, but I wanted to show it to a large internet audience. A lot of this stuff depends on your personal situation. That being said, if you have any questions, please put them in the comments and I'll make sure to respond. Please subscribe to this channel and click the notification bell. If you think this video would benefit others, please share it. Also, don't forget to hit the like button because it actually makes you 4% more attractive and you don't even have to fact check that. Thanks for watching, guys.